Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a great one on tap between the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Giants. With that, let's get up to MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Standing by for the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, we welcome everybody to the Garden State. EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Giants. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The bye weeks are over. It's all about football all the time as we're underway here in Week 13. This will be fielded at the 6. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by the man who proclaims to be from a whole pack of Badgers. Came into the league back in 2012, Russell Wilson.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Now Wilson on first down. It's complete to Lockett. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10. And with this offense, what about DJ Fluker?
Came out of Alabama, could play tackle, could play guard. He's so big, Brandon, I think he plays both at the same time.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Well, look now at our starting defense. Currently #1 in the NFL against the run.
Most of their challenges have come in the passing game because against the run, they've been pretty darn good. Now you've got to figure out a way to slow down those receivers before they get downfield and maybe make a few more plays on the ball when it's in the air.
Five in the secondary now for the Giants here on 3rd. From the gun, it's Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 42. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Dexter Lawrence just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that. Give him clean lanes to throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
Wilson's throw caught by Metcalf. Big yardage after the catch. That one winds up going for 36. Well, how about the passing numbers so far on this first drive?
Well, no doubt about it. They're pulling it around pretty successfully. And look at the start. The confidence level that we see in him rising because he's hit a few early. And how about the last one? The big shot right there.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Wilson to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Chris Carson, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks take the ball down the field and score on the opening drive. And they do exactly what they wanted to. Opening drive, they get into the end zone. They do it on the ground.
And not only is the person lugging the ball happy, of course, because he got it into the end zone. How about the offensive linemen and receivers who are blocking for him? They have to feel great about themselves, sticking it in the end zone on a running play.
Let's go.
So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. And leading them out there, their 6'5" quarterback.
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, we're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section, where the columnists write possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view that, right? Who gave away the game plan? I think it's pretty obvious, though. That'll help them win.
A throw left side to start the drive is complete. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's the offense, and we give you too much power here. We let you highlight the player. Why'd you choose Zeitler?
Because I think the big guys up front never get enough credit. Kevin Zeitler, a guard, tough, nasty. We've got to give him some love.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
50's a mic. All day, just like that. Just
look, squeeze. Greystone, travel. Hey, orbit.
Shit.
Throwing Jones. And that going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. This is how the defense will line up for Seattle. And they've shown the ability to play tough against the pass, currently ranked number 9 in the NFL.
And while teams don't like to talk about it, they're pretty proud of their rankings. But this ranking is going to be put to the test today because they're going up against a top 5 passing offense in this one.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some. Go.
Now Jones from the gun, he'll throw. And this is caught, but I don't think he stayed in bounds. No, he didn't. It's incomplete. The throw took him past the boundary, and it's 4th. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
A beautiful fake. Nifty move. That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, that the whole month of December is still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
From midfield now, here's Wilson. Got Gordon open, completes it. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running sound.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Cravon LeBlanc with a pick.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. The first carry for the former Nittany Lion. This is Saquon Barkley. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 17 yards and a giant first down. A nice toss play there to the left. More than enough room to move the chains.
And you know what I love about that play as a broadcaster? Seeing the big guys move. Seeing them get upfield and take out defenders. You know what I hated as a defensive back? That exact same thing. Seeing those linemen coming downfield, getting ready to blot out the sun.
The numbers for him from a week ago. 18 carries, 85 yards.
Yeah, he could very well be on his way to a rushing title, but guess what? His offensive line, they're meeting separately because they want that rushing title as much as he does, and they want to make sure they get him there.
It's hauled in by Shepard. 9 yards the pickup there, and it's a first down.
And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker. And you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say, we're going to build from the inside out. Because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage. Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Finds his tight end Ingram, and he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Evan Ingram, his 9th touchdown of the season, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Aldrich Rosas on for the extra point. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. That time a 6-play drive, and it was finished off by a touchdown by the New York Giants. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I'll guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go out and atone for it himself, but he can't force things.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 24. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays I'm eking over in your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. The last catch did get 3, but they're still left needing 7 yards on 3rd down. From the shotgun, Wilson. Open man is Gordon, complete. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down. Wilson now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. Now a give right side. Carson. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5. These two teams all tied after 1. On 2nd down, it's Carson. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size and these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there.
I wonder if they just kind of outguessed themselves a little bit trying to run it on 3rd down. Probably should have gone to the air to try and pick it up. Instead, the punting unit will have to run on the field.
And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
The throw right side is complete here on the first play of the drive. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage. A 1st down carry for Barkley. He chucks him aside.
Dumped him.
It's a gain of 11 and a giant 1st down.
We got this.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Ready, set.
54, right there. 54, Mike. Stop your running. Do.
80 weapons. Shoot.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
I'm here all day. 54 is mine.
Here's Jones. Going to throw again. This is Shepard on the catch. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
And two stop.
First and 10 at the 26
Alpha.
Mike's 50. Mike.
Go.
Jones on first down. Going for it all. And that is caught. He's got it for a Giant touchdown. In for the score. And the Giants have taken the lead. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to his second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Rosas true blue on the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Chris Carson trotting back out there. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. The Seahawks on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. To throw is Wilson. Wide open receiver complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That one good for 24 yards. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll make it 2nd down. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments and doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
And the Seahawks on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Wilson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Emmanuel Ogbah in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Giants' drive will start from deep in their territory with a 1st and 10. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And they must have seen something leading up to this one that said, hey, we're going to be able to go deep, because they've gone deep with a lot of success.
And pick your phrase, pick your code words, your buzzwords, whatever, vertical stretch.
Go now.
The Giants
60,
offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
Hey!
Hey, Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
On first down, Barkley. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
Keep playing hard, fellas.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7.
He wasn't ready.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jones. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line. Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. After the interception, here's Wilson. Gets it to Gordon. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. First down, Seattle, 16 yards the gain there. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown.
Great job. Touchdown.
Darius Slayton, his 11th touchdown on the year. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
Rosas good with the extra point. And it's now 21-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Tyler Lockett trotting onto the field, getting set for this next drive. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
That one good for 26 and a first down. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
After reviewing the play,
Less than 2 minutes to go in the game, which means that this challenge was initiated by the fellas in New York.
And if you're the coach, you're thinking, thank you, New York. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Chris Carson, the intended receiver, but it's going to be second down.
The touch and time here are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Second and 10 now, Wilson. That's complete. It's Gordon. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. That'll pick up the first down for Seattle on a gain of 18. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. From the 32 now, here's first and 10. To throw again is Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on first and 10. Actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. Third down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Wilson now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's first and 10. Again, Wilson. And it'll be intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. First down for the Giants as they pick up 12.
On the double. Watch QB drop. Watch QB drop. Ready.
On first down, Jones gets this out to Saquon Barkley. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Now the Pro Bowl kicker, Aldrich Rosas. Last year, he hit one from 57. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And the kick by Rosas is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. We're starting to get near the home stretch of this NFL season. It's Week 13, so let's get an update on what's going on. We'll get started up at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly. And in the second quarter, it's the Redskins who are out in front. Paul Richardson, a touchdown reception. From there, we head over to the Windy City. Check on the Bears at home, Soldier Field. And it's the visiting Minnesota Vikings who have the lead in that one at halftime. Adam Thielen, 2 touchdown catches in that first half alone. Finally, we're off to Atlanta. Check on the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And for the moment, they find themselves trailing the visiting Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton with a couple of touchdown passes there. In our game, we were treated to a strong first half from the former Blue Devil, Daniel Jones. His 3 touchdown passes have his guys out in front as we hand things back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. This is taken at his 4. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And New York set to take the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Second half begins with a run from Barkley. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Single. Watch 81, watch 81.
Jones fakes the give to Barkley. It's complete to Golden Tate. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. A big play there for the Giants. 59 yards. Pretty good yards after the catch there on that crossing route. Is a crossing route good for a quarterback because the receiver's coming across his line of vision?
They love those kind of throws, and how many times have you seen any of what we call an in-breaking route? Quarterback really turns it loose, doesn't he? Has a lot more confidence because he can see the play right in front of him.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Again, it's Barkley. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. Jones now operating from the gun. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Darius Slayton, his 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half, Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Well, once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. This is Carson. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuck that one.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Emmanuel Agba picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
I think we've seen this before. If someone's down 3 scores, that situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. 51 yards on the punt there. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
This defense tightening up a bit. That last catch just 1 yard, making it 3rd and 9. From the gun, Jones. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Oh, trying to fit it into Shepard, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Brad McDougal. And he'll bring this all the way up to the 45-yard line. They needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the 3rd quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. From just shy of midfield, Wilson, he'll find Metcalf. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 11 yards there and a 1st down for Seattle. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Carson. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They run it with Carson. And now running right through him. And he'll be taken down at the 33, a pickup of about 4.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And they're able to get this one across the 35. First down, Giants on a pickup of 14.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because in a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Watch twist.
Yo, go. Look at me. Go. Get it.
They keep it with Barkley on first down. He's got the first down or more past midfield. And down right around the 37. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. A first carry for the Clemson man, Wayne Gallman. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Hey, team six.
Now Jones. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And that is caught. He's got it for a Giant touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air, because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Meanwhile, down in Philly, and the Redskins moving out in front in that game. Dwayne Haskins, a couple of touchdown passes thus far. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. And that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 2nd and 11 now. Wilson. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
On the return, it's Tate. They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
Here we go. 60 pitch, sir.
Now Jones to throw from his end zone. He's got his man. This is Tate. And this one will be taken up. They'll spot it right at the 7. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on second down. The Giants on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
Hey, Charlie. Snap.
Here's Jones. From the gun, he'll throw. And incomplete here to bring up 4th down as the rookie couldn't haul it in.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. Returnable for Lockett. Sheds off the tackle. We'll call that a 49-yard punt, but a net of just 39 following the 10-yard return. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Now Wilson on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And they're left looking at 3rd and 8 after the second down pass play only went for 2. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 39. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
New York set to take the field. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now.
Back 3, 218, chopper.
This is Gallman. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Throwing, Jones. He's going to fire this thing deep right side. This is caught inside the 15. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. A gain of 32 that time. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long. And I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them. And now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. They're going to hurry back to the line now.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up 2nd and a yard at the 3-yard line.
Watch twist. Pilot, 64, weak. Defense.
On 2nd and 1, Jones. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. Robert Tonyan, his 4th touchdown on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That'll pick up the first down for Seattle on a gain of 18.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Here's Wilson. Able to get this to Gordon. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A very solid gain of 27.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. They'll run on first down. Carson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
Wilson now to throw on third down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And Myers able to knock it through. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
The New York set to take the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
AK Gator, Mike 50, 6'6", pull it high, tighten up, get it.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. It's a giant first down on a gain of 16. And on that last play there, he's over 400 yards passing now.
You know what that generally means?
Success.
That, and it means you really didn't miss opportunities. Usually very accurate. The ball's getting to the right place. Guys are making yardage after the catch to help you out that way. I mean, the whole team has picked it up. And don't forget, that means the offensive line has had to pass protect pretty well, too.
Everyone dialed in. Jones on 1st and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jadeveon Clowney able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Catch made by Slayton. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Got it? 54, right there. 54, Mike.
Now!
Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4.
Go!
A give to Barkley out of the gun. And able to work his way down to the 16. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
7-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd and 3.
From the 16, Jones. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with this one. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it on the other.
Touchdown, Giants. Albrecht Rosas lining up for the extra point.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. PAT up and good by Rosas. They're all through now in that game in Tampa. And that one belonging to the Buccaneers. Jameis Winston, 3 touchdown passes to help lead the way.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. From the shotgun, Wilson. That's complete into the hands of Carson. Now the Giants will use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Here's Wilson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been terrific so far. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Giants, they continue to keep pace for that first-round bye as they move to 11-1. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they fall to 6-6 now on the campaign. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.